Hello Internet, Taliesin here, and welcome to the video, which I wanted to start with this little intro to explain it really, because it might not be exactly what you're expecting when you clicked on it. As you know, as well as YouTube, me and Evitel also stream together on Twitch, and we've just started a new morning show called The Grind, where we get up early and we chill out with some coffee and play some WoW and talk about whatever WoW news stories happen to have happened while we were asleep. It's really cool, it's chill, I like it a lot, and sometimes we have some reasonably interesting conversations on that show on subjects that we're never going to make a full video about and we're never going to include in the weekly reset, and we thought maybe it would be a nice idea to just chop those up a bit and put them onto the YouTube channel under their own playlist for people to enjoy. The idea is that they're not going to take the place of any of our normal videos, of course. It's more like an extra sprinkling of Taliesin and Evitel into your morning coffee instead of sugar. Put sugar in as well, it'll be nicer. We're still experimenting with how we present these on the channel, and if I'm honest, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about them yet, so I'd really like your feedback if that's okay. Okay, go, 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 go. Story that caught my eye today was the alleged Mythic raid boosting in the China region, possibly affecting Alliance Hall of Fame. The Alliance Hall of Fame is now completed. It's done. Do you know what the Hall of Fame is, Evitel?
Yes.
Okay.
It's when you beat the bosses. I
mean, that's not untrue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the first 100 guilds of each faction to complete Mythic Castle Nathria, whatever the cutting edge raid is at the time, get entered into the Hall of Fame. So you have like a Horde Hall of Fame, an Alliance Hall of Fame, and obviously it won't surprise you to learn that the Horde Hall of Fame gets completed
pretty quickly,
you know, generally like months before the Alliance Hall of Fame, because most of the top guilds, for reasons which it would take a long time to go into, mostly legacy reasons, are Horde players, right? And you know, it had to do with like the way that racials were balanced a few expansions ago, and it doesn't matter if the racials are more balanced now, because like already all of the top Horde players, all the top like raiders went to Horde, so it's now kind of accepted. If you want to be a really, really serious raider, it's just gonna be a whole lot easier if you go Horde. Simple as that. So the Horde Hall of Fame gets completed so much quicker than the Alliance one, and in this case it's been 28 days difference, which is a little bit less than usual.
Okay.
It's got to be said, it's usually a couple of months.
Is it? Okay.
It's important because when both Hall of Fames are completed, when the top 100, like the first 100 guilds to kill Mythic Denathrius in this case, are done, then that opens up cross-realm Mythic raiding. Because like for Mythic raiding, you can only, before the Hall of Fame is filled out, you can only actually group with people in your realm,
right?
Like to keep it old school and cool. But as soon as those Hall of Fames are filled out, it means that you can now do cross realm. So like I could now put together a Mythic group on stream, and it'd be much easier because people from other realms could join in. They wouldn't all have to be on Argent Dawn EU.
Yeah.
Isn't this expansion quite Alliance themed though? Since Sylvanas has kind of been, I mean, Alliance theme or not, it doesn't really matter. Like it's just generally accepted that the top raiders will play in Horde. Like if I really wanted to be a serious raider, I'd sign up to Horde right now, because there are just more people who like Mythic raiding and take Mythic raiding seriously who play Horde, and like it's self-perpetuating at this stage, you know? More likely that people who are really interested in Mythic raiding and play Horde. It's simple as that.
More likely.
Are we going to pick me up every time I say the word more? Is that going to be the game?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how we roll.
So why was there only a 28-day difference between the Horde Hall of Fame and the Alliance Hall of Fame filling up? Well, Wowhead think it might be because of Chinese boosting.
Oh.
Okay, so like
why are they saying it's specifically Chinese?
Because they're racist. No, and also because there's, you know, a fair bit of evidence.
Okay, what's this evidence?
Okay, so the evidence is that a whole lot of Alliance guilds in China very quickly get when it looks like the Hall of Fame is going to fill up.
Yeah.
Very quickly they complete the last 3 bosses, whereas before they've been struggling on all the bosses beforehand. So it seems like
a little bit
very
staged,
specifically a lot of Chinese Alliance guilds are killing the last 3 bosses in the raid, obviously the hardest 3 bosses in the raid, very quickly and surprisingly easy. easily. Like, and you know, obviously things are getting nerfed, and obviously players are starting to kind of, if anything, overgear it a little bit now, and so it becomes a lot easier. But still, it's a little bit suspicious. Due to some suspect logs that have been found on Warcraft logs, players have suspected. Overuse of the word suspected, I think. Players have suspected that there has been a lot of boosting for the last 3 bosses in Mythic Castle Nathria, particularly for the China region. Seen on Star Gaming's page and Q728's page on Warcraft logs, there are anywhere from 1 to 17 logged kills per day of Mythic Shriekwing, Sludgefist, Stone Legion Generals, and Denathrius each. Each kill has different characters that maintains a very similar group comp with the same tank and healer composition, with only minor composition differences in the DPS. I don't know if that's evidence in of itself, in fairness. If you take a closer look at many of these characters on Warcraft logs, they have minimal public logs of the earlier part of the instance, with some not even clearing any previous Mythic Castle Nathria boss before suddenly stepping up and 1 or 2 shotting the hardest bosses on Mythic difficulty.
Now that is suspicious to me.
Is it? I mean, yes, it is, definitely.
Yeah.
But then it could just be like, you know that top Mythic raiders have, okay, you know, if this was not carrying, then these aren't top Mythic raiders, but like, you know, like it's not unusual for Mythic raiders to have like lots of different alts that they can swap between and things like that.
Yeah.
You could say the same about EU kills. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm sure they have like, you know, various like teams and people that they bring in for the tough ones, and so
the earlier bosses could have been private logs, but when many of these players are like this, it definitely seems a little suspicious. The last point that suggests that these players are boosting is the fact that these players are from different servers. If you take this log and look at Denathrius Kill 10, Warcraft log has these players listed on the it looks like a Boat Umbrella server. Less than an hour later, on Denathrius Kill 11, Warcraft Logs has these players listed on the completely different server. It seems rather odd that these guilds would be logging multiple kills across multiple characters across multiple servers. It does seem odd. So basically, there are Chinese Mythic Raiders carrying, you know, and European as well. But like, is this a major problem? People carrying people to Mythic kills?
Is that... I guess my question is that so bad? I mean, I guess... I understand why you would want the Hall of Fame to be like, okay, this is a guild, this is a group that works together, that worked really hard to do this. I can get why people would be a bit salty about that, but is it necessarily very, very bad that people are being carried?
They may not be carrying, they may just be filling up the Hall of Fame so they can sell boosts cross-server.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
So
you think they're not actually carrying anyone, they're just like,
gold.
They're spending like quite a lot of money to server change their characters just to fill up the Hall of Fame, so that they can then make more money.
See, that's
a complex strategy. It's a bold move.
That makes a lot of sense, actually, when you think about it. That kind of explains it a bit for me. And now I'm like, oh, yes.
The unacceptable face of capitalism. I find all this carrying and boosting quite problematic because it makes the whole prestige in game pretty worthless. And I think, Julius, you've kind of like hit the nail on the head with that one. I think the problem here is when it comes to the Hall of Fame is like, it has a practical purpose as well, as far as unlocking cross-server raiding, but also there's a, like from the kind of the MMO point of view and from the RPG point of view, and just like, you know, from the computer game point of view, there's like a serious prestige to being in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you know, if we were to get in the Hall of Fame, I would be thrilled.
Yeah.
If you're a serious Alliance guild who gets cutting edge, you're probably always in the Hall of Fame, to be honest.
Sure.
And now you've got these boosters maybe pushing you out. Like that's really bad. That's really terrible. Wow, that worked out for you.
Sorry, every day I do this in hope that I'll be turned into Elisand, and I'm not.
Boosting is okay for me, but the one to sell in raid MM plus lists really are a pain. So yeah, okay, so boosting generally I don't have that much of a problem for. If it's for in-game gold, you know, I'm down with it. With these boosts for raid, for me there's a number of problems. One, it's almost certainly not happening for in-game gold. It's almost certainly happening for real cash, which is against terms of service and very problematic.
Isn't it?
Two, if you boost someone to like a plus 20 key, or like to Keystone Master, or if you boost someone to get a mount from the end of a Mythic boss or something, or if you boost someone to a certain PvP rating or something like that, you're not stopping anyone else getting those things. You know, you're boosting someone to get that thing. They needed the thing in game and they got it. The problem with boosting for Hall of Fame is that you have stopped another guild who are legitimately doing the thing from getting into Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's tough.
And that sucks. That's really, really bad. Like, so where boosting stops like other people getting stuff, that for me is like incredibly problematic. Like, if people want to pay gold and get boosted to a certain ranking or to Keystone Master or to whatever, then that's fine. You know, it's not for me personally. And, you know, secondary to that is like all the ads and stuff in like Group Finder, which are horrible. And that needs to be
those are a bit of a pain, aren't they?
cranked down on as well. But it's hard because, like, if you are allowing boosts for gold, which I think you should, I think it's like a genuine part of the economy, I think it's fine, then why would you ban advertising for those boosts for gold? It kind of, it's not nice, but what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Max from Limit raised a good point. People were using the boosts they bought from Limit to claim they had raided with Limit when applying for other guilds. Holy
Wow,
shit.
big yikes. I mean, I know you're supposed to fluff your CV a little bit, right? Like, you're always supposed to be like, well, you know, I did project manage this project that I, you know, but that's a bit of a stretch, isn't it?
That sounds like it's been spoken by someone who really knows. Like, it sounds like you are
I've never fluffed.
a pro.
Never.
You are pro CV fluffer right there.
Never. Ever.
I don't believe it's true. All you've got to do is put in, I went to Yale. By the way, just so you know. It's the WoW version of saying you're good at using Excel. Okay, so that's like a whole different problem. People like getting a boost from Limit and then saying that they raided with Limit. That's like a much more specific niche problem, I think.
Yeah. That's funny though. That makes me laugh.
But people getting boosted to Hall of Fame and therefore stopping other people being in the Hall of Fame, for me, that's a big problem. I don't like it, and I don't know what you're supposed to do about it. And I think one of the very provocative things about this news as well, let's not muck around, is that we're especially focusing, even though it does happen in other regions as well, undoubtedly, we are, in this article, specifically focusing on the Chinese element. So there's like an extra provocative thing of like this idea that we all kind of have somewhere deep down that Blizz are a lot more lax with their rules when it comes to China than they are for the rest of us. And the idea if this was happening like en masse and at this kind of level for other regions, then Blizz would be a lot more keen to stamp down on it and be seen to be doing a lot more about it. And this, whether it's true or not, this feeling amongst the player base that because it's China, Blizzard are a bit less willing to do something about it, whether or not that's true. So it makes the topic extra provocative. You know, the name of the article isn't alleged Mythic raid boosting across all regions, possibly affecting Alliance Hall of Fame. It's Mythic raid boosting in China. And you see that and you're like, what? Blizz doing it again. And like, rightly or wrongly, it makes the whole thing a lot more provocative, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course.
There you go, though. All we need to do, and they're probably doing it for real money. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I can't even just ask for loads of gold from people on stream so I can save up for my own boost. Is there anyone in this chat that's ever, and no judgment here, it's like genuine curiosity, anyone in this chat who's ever paid gold or money for a Mythic raid boost specifically? Extra points if you've ever paid gold or money for a Hall of Fame boost. Anyone want to tell us about that? Yes, gold, Demon Seed. So that for a Mythic raid boost. Yes, for a token. I paid for a Mythic mount twice. I paid 300k back in WoD for the Black Hand mount. Yeah, and getting like when I know that top guilds love it when a Mythic boss has a mount on it, and when it's a guaranteed drop for sure. For that exact reason. I paid for a dancing gold shear once. Does that count? Absolutely. You're ruining this game. You are everything that's wrong with this game. I can't even go onto Group Finder without seeing people advertising dances in gold shear. And you're the kind of person that's perpetuating this, Mr. GM. I used to have respect for you. My dad paid for gold on eBay back in the day.
Wow.
That's so cool. He might well have bought it from Steve Bannon, don't forget.
Oh god,
Never ever forget that Steve Bannon tried to make an illegal WoW gold farming business.
Must be inciting boosting when they increase the Mythic mount drop to 2 at the end of an expansion, right?
Or like Yeah, I guess so, but you could also say they're just making it easier for players who don't want to buy boosts as well. So it's hard. Like, what do? You could say that any nice guaranteed reward from a Mythic run is like inciting boosting. And what is wrong with boosting? No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with boosting. Obviously for gold, right? Like boosting for money, quite a lot of things wrong with that.
Yeah.
And I know that you can say, well, you know, you pay real money to buy gold and then you boost for gold. And that's fine. Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong about that. But you know, the people doing the boosting still aren't receiving cash, are they? They're receiving the gold, and that's kind of the important thing. I think there's an obvious issue with the whole Hall of Fame thing that needs to be addressed. I don't disagree with you, Emirines, but what do you think the issue with Hall of Fame is specifically? Because I have issues with Hall of Fame as well, although in principle I quite like the idea, I have to say. Have you ever paid for a boost T&E? No, not at all.
I have not.
I wouldn't know how to go about it, honestly. And I certainly don't have enough gold to do it.
Well, and if I wanted to, I would we have a friend of ours who does some boosting.
That's very true, actually. Yeah, we know people that do boosting, so we just get in on that.
Do the boosty boosts.
And we'd be like, just call it my birthday present.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Not a direct issue with Hall of Fame, but it's affected by faction balance with Horde Alliance in the raiding scene. Yeah, but that has its good points and bad points, right? So if you are a serious Alliance raiding guild, the fact that there aren't so many other Alliance serious raiding guilds makes it much more likely that you're going to get in Hall of Fame, and that must be quite a good thing for you, really. Like, you know, as an Alliance player, I kind of think to myself, yeah, I could just join a serious Mythic guild if I could get in, and like the chances of getting Hall of Fame would actually be quite high compared to if I changed to like Horde, and where the chances are like so much lower because that's where all the top players play. And yeah, so I would be absolutely pissed about people buying Alliance Hall of Fame boosts for that reason.
Did you see me win?
I did see you win. You're amazing.
Anyway.
Probably the best player I've ever seen. Just remove China from the leaderboard. And again, like I don't agree with that because A, where's the fun in that? B, it happens in all regions. And C, the fact is those people that are doing the boosting did legitimately themselves get Hall of Fame. You know, so they're boosting other people to do it as well, but they did it themselves first. And what, they shouldn't be allowed to be on Hall of Fame because they're Chinese? I don't know. I'm not. I just don't think I agree with that.
Yeah.
WoW Progress is not like an officially run Blizzard thing. Yeah, but the Hall of Fame is. The Hall of Fame is an officially run Blizzard thing. Absolutely. Like, and it's the Hall of Fame we're talking about. I don't give a shit about WoW Progress. The only time I ever go on WoW Progress is to see my sweet healing logs when we're raiding.
Yeah.
Like checking out that purple and that orange, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's some sweet logs.